Hey guys, it's Chill, and this is not really the usual thing that I do, and so, not really focused on the looks or anything else. I'm just here to talk to you about epilepsy awareness. See, the problem is a lot of people just think epilepsy, and the first thing and the only thing that they think of is flashing lights. So they think that, you know, for example, I can't get disability. I've been denied twice, and I have a lawyer working on me for my third time trying to get disability. And the problem is that, the people with disability, they see the same thing. They say, well, Chris can work as long as he's not in a place that has flashing lights. Well, it's not the truth. See, my trigger is overheating and lack of sleep. Those are the two things that make me have seizures. But there's thousands and thousands of different triggers out there. You know, some specific color. Maybe the color of the wall back there might trigger somebody's seizures. Who knows? Nobody really knows. The research isn't really there for epilepsy. And this is one of the reasons why I'm in a position that I'm in right now. And let me just explain it to you. I can't get a job and I can't support myself because they won't give me disability. I'm a part of the New York State medical marijuana program for my seizures, and so I take CBD oil. But since I have CBD oil in my system, and since marijuana is still a federally illegal, that a lot of places, any place that drug tests pretty much can't hire me. And it doesn't matter if I have the prescription or not, because the same reason why the dispensaries, they can't have bank accounts, because technically you're supporting uh, the drug cartel the way the government looks at it. Same thing, they can't hire me because to them and to that company, it's like they're hiring somebody that's doing drugs. And the screwed up way of the world is I have a card. I'm not gonna go get it at the moment because it's a little bit far away. But this is just a bottle of my CBD oil right there. And if the FBI came down here, I can get 25 to life for all the bottles that I have of my medicine because I just pick some up if they wanted to. New York State Police Department, they can come down here and they can't do a thing because of my card. But the feds, I can still get 25 to life, even though I went to a doctor and a doctor prescribed this to me, and I have a state card that's laminated just like a driver's license and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter federally like it does regularly. And so I can't get a job any place that drug tests because heat and lack of sleep are my triggers. I can't get a job where I'm standing for 8 hours. I need to get a job at least in an office where you're sitting, and most places that have offices, they drug test. And I've tried many places around where I live, but also because I'm epileptic, I can't drive. And so I have no transportation. So, I live in New York. There's probably a possibility probably a bigger possibility that if I went to the city to try to get a job, that I would get one. But the problem with that is I'm also a former college student. So I have $30,000 in student loans. And it's on an income-based schedule. So now the average minimum wage worker makes $250 a week. Well, out of that $250 a week, I'm spending over $100 on transportation just to get to the city because I'm going to be using the Long Island Railroad and the subway. It's probably going to be a 3-hour trip to work every day and a 3-hour trip home. So I would have to give up my music totally altogether because then the only times I would be home would be on the weekend. And when I'm home on the weekend, there's other people in my house, and so I can't record my music. So if I did that, I would have to give up my music altogether and work and give $100 every week of my $250 to transportation. Another $100, since it's income based, goes to my financial aid student loans. So I'm left with $50 a week. And, come on, after all that time, I'm not going to spend $50 on food in a week. So, or, I have bills to pay too. And I have to pay for my oil, and I have to pay to go see the doctor, and I have to pay for this. I got to pay for that. How am I going to survive off $50 a week? And I'm working what? If I'm working an 8-hour day and it's 2 hours to get there, it makes 10 hours. 2 hours to get back. That makes 12 hours. That was just transportation and working. Another part of my epilepsy, obviously, I can't be too sleepy. So I have to go home and I have to go right to sleep, because an average person is supposed to get 8 hours of sleep, and I'm supposed to get more than that because I'm epileptic. So I'm supposed to get 12. So I go work for 12 hours, I come back for 12 hours, I don't have a single moment of my life to myself, and I'm still at the end of the month owing people money. That's just not going to work. And that's why more people need to understand that epilepsy isn't just flashing lights, because I need help. I need help from the government because of my condition. Like, I can't work. And nobody sees that, and everybody wants to just look at me and think that, all these other things, let's even put race into this for a little bit. I can't go out on the street, or I can't talk to anybody who doesn't automatically think I'm rich just because I'm white. So then they all laugh at me like, oh, like you don't have $100,000 in the bank. What do you need money for? And nobody else understands. Even in other situations, I have family members who have been hiding money for years just so they can get enough money to survive. They have to hide the money from the government because then the government says they're making too much money. Same thing, same problem that I have right now. Like, I only have this roof over my head for another 2 months. After that, what am I going to do? I can't afford any place. The Section 8 list is 5 years long at the moment. I've tried places around me, but a lot of these places, they require a bunch of things. And speaking of requirements, another thing about epilepsy, going back to that real quick, is that more and more jobs I'm finding here in New York, anyway, are requiring you to have a driver's license just for you to go and work for them. But since I'm epileptic, I can't drive, so I don't have a driver's license. So that doesn't help as far as finding a job goes either. But back to what I was saying about money and stuff like that. I just don't know what to do. I'm kind of at a point where I'm seriously thinking about getting my girlfriend pregnant and then going into a homeless shelter, probably for at least a year, living in a homeless shelter and not even leaving the homeless shelter, because what I was told is, if you go to the homeless shelter just for the night, but you're free during the day, and you go out during the day, the homeless shelters feel like you have someplace to go, so you don't have any place to sleep, so you can't do that. So if you're going to be at a homeless shelter for a year, what I was told was that you have to be there 24/7, and you can't leave the homeless shelter. And so, my girlfriend would have to have the kid in the homeless shelter. I got no money to, like, what kind of sense does that make? But that's the only place that I can get a roof over my head. So, going on a little bit of a rant there, but the point of all this is, maybe this video will go viral, and maybe more people will understand about epilepsy. Alrighty, everybody, it's Chill, Lone Hermity NT, JMU2K5, and have